Chefs About Town is brought to you in part by Loxton De-Alcoholized Wines, the elegant alternative wine for your non-drinking guests who enjoy the taste of wine. Remember Loxton. By Kelowna Vineyards, wines to share with friends. And by the Granville Island Brewing Company, Canada's first microbrewery. All proud to be sponsors of British Columbia's regional food and wine program, Chefs About Town.
Thank you, Mitch Laser on guitar, James Hill on sax. Thanks, guys. My name is Gary Faessler. Welcome to Chefs About Town, the show for people who really love good food. This is BC's regional food and wine arts television program. And this is, I guess all my programs are special to me, but this one a little bit in particular, because my guests today are Peter Zambri, a chef at Sooke Harbour House, a very romantic little inn restaurant by the sea on the west coast of Vancouver Island. Welcome, man.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again. And Sinclair Phillip, the owner of the Sooke Harbour House, who has probably been on my show more than any one person for good reason, because he's one of the, this fellow is one of the top probably purveyors of and supporters of the culinary arts in British Columbia, and it's good to have you back again. Now, this is, when we're filming this, is in the cooler months, this particular show, and we're going to be preparing some mussels.
Yes.
So let's get into it.
We're going to do two soups, a thick soup and a broth type soup. We're using only local ingredients, sea lettuce and
look at this, beautiful
mussels
sea lettuce, the color of this.
Edward and I harvested off the beach yesterday.
Just yesterday?
Just
Edward?
Yesterday. Edward's another co-chef at Sooke Harbour House.
You know, for people
just
who don't
took
know.
off from work and went and got mussels just for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I might as well explain a few things. We got some peppers and some fennel seeds and some smoked salmon. That we do everything at the Sooke Harbour House. Peppers were grown by Byron. And
Byron is your gardener?
He's
our head gardener.
Yeah, your head gardener. He's been there for ever since I can remember.
Yes, he's been with us for a long, long time.
Yeah.
He's an excellent master gardener. Gary, there's one little thing I want to mention about the mussels, and that is that I would not recommend that people go out and harvest mussels without really inquiring with the local fisheries office.
Because
we do not go out and harvest our own mussels. I'd like to make that very clear. We did this just for the show, for the benefit of the show.
They're filter feeders, and if the water's not good, or if there is red tide or whatever.
There are other diseases related to mussels now that we're becoming aware of, and it's a really good idea to go through a purveyor who is recognized by the Federal Fisheries Department, or be very careful before you go out yourself.
But the thing is that, you know, this is still one of my pet culinary peeves, that in British Columbia, and I've been saying this for years, you still cannot buy, you know, not that I know of, BC mussels. All the mussels come from PEI, and very recently
you can, but it's been a touch and go industry.
It must be rare and few and far between.
There are a number of suppliers. I'm going to see that the local supply will increase tremendously over the next few years. There are a number of new farms.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, so do I. Definitely.
So now,
okay, well, I'm going to start the a squash and mussel and smoked salmon soup first, because it has to stew and cook a little bit longer.
Great. Okay, let's do that.
Okay. We got ignition here.
I want to mention the mussels that we're talking about harvesting the mussels, because you actually did harvest these mussels. There are two types of mussels that we have in British Columbia that are indigenous.
There are actually more than that,
but
there
two that
are
we're going to focus on today.
Yeah, I would suppose that the two that we should be looking at are what are commonly called the bay mussel or the blue mussel.
The smaller, more delicate.
It's smaller, more delicate, thinner in shell, generally speaking, much more white meat.
And the one that people are familiar with in their fish stores, from their fishmongers.
That's right. It's very similar to the mussel, which grows from the North Pole to the South
All over
Pole,
the
and throughout
world,
most parts of
actually.
the world.
Yeah.
That's right.
And in quieter parts of the inland, rather not the wild exposed sea, but the inlets.
It's frequently called the bay mussel. That's not what we're going to be using today.
Right.
But that is one of the types of mussels, for instance, that comes from Penn Cove, where you did a little bit of shooting.
Oh, absolutely. We have some film we'll show you a little bit later. Just a little bit south of us in Washington.
That's right. It's actually not the blue mussel that they go there, but something closely related.
Something closely related.
I'm just starting with a little bit of shallots and some garlic.
And we have some oil in here?
Yes, just regular oil.
Just what kind? Canola?
This is vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil? Okay.
I do have some flavored oils, but I'm going to incorporate them into the soup a little bit later.
Okay.
Okay.
It smells good so far.
I don't necessarily want to caramelize anything, so I'll just lightly saute
You're going to
it.
sweat the onions, yeah?
Yeah, sweat them definitely. And I have some squash. Put some squash into it.
Okay.
How much do you have there?
I'd say maybe a quarter of a cup of squash. This is for 2 people. What I have here is roasted garlic and well-cooked squash. What I'm going to do with this is use it as a thickening agent because we don't use much cream at the Sooke Harbour House. We thicken things with purees and whatnot. It's a lot of healthier type of cooking.
And cleaner. I guess the flavors of the ingredients would come out more than the cream is.
Okay, again, I'm going to add...
a little vermouth?
Can I have some of your wine?
Which
actually?
one?
The white?
Pinot? Oh, okay.
Yes, please.
The Riesling?
Sure, go ahead.
How much?
That's good.
What about an ounce, Gary?
Yeah,
Something like
it's,
that?
Yeah, that was about
an
an
ounce
ounce.
of Quails Gate Riesling?
Very carefully measured ounce.
I've got some pre-cooked lentils. Put the lentils in.
Oh, great.
Just cook those.
This is a
for
very
second.
hearty winter soup that
Oh,
we're gonna
definitely,
be
definitely,
preparing.
yeah. It's everybody loves to come home to a nice big bowl of soup.
Yeah.
That looks like, what, about a cup of lentils when they're...
No, not even.
Not even
Not
half
even.
a cup?
Yeah, about half a cup. What I have here is mussel broth.
Ah.
Okay, cooked with wine, mirepoix, onions, celery, carrots.
Root vegetables.
Root vegetables, right? No turnips though. They make it turnips.
Too bitter?
Yeah, it kind of makes it a little bit smell
Right.
funny.
Don't add salt either. That can make it taste
No,
like
no
there's
salt.
lots of salt.
There's so much salt in the mussel itself that it really doesn't
The
require
natural
any-
brine of the sea comes right through. Yeah.
So here we got, I'll put up the heat a little bit and incorporate some of my roast garlic and
About a minute to
squash.
put this together. Think we can do that?
Yep.
Less than a minute. Less than a minute.
And here we go. A little bit of
Oh, a
rosemary.
little bit of rosemary. Wow,
I have
what's
2
this?
kinds here. This is rosemary rex, and this is some hybrid that
Very savory.
Byron discovered.
Ah, is it stronger?
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stronger than the rosemary rex. It's actually got a different flavor. I don't necessarily like to chop my herbs too much because this is going to be cooking for
Okay.
like 10 minutes or
Well,
so.
let's put the rest of the ingredients in and
Basically, the only thing left is some smoked salmon.
Okay.
It gives it a little bit of richness. It gives it a
Right.
smoky flavor.
Right.
It's kind of hard to smoke mussels unless you're well set up for it.
Okay.
And the mussels themselves.
Now this is the
And
large
they have
California mussel.
This is the large California mussel.
Yeah, this is how large
And it
these
already has
mussels
a
are.
smoky flavor by itself.
Look at this guy. We'll just put this
That's
right
a really
here.
big one. We usually take
It's a
them
really
smaller
big one.
than that.
Now,
Okay.
while we're going to let this simmer, and we're going to come back and plate this soup. But in the meantime, we're actually sipping on some Quails Gate wine, some Pinot Noir, and some Riesling.
Riesling.
Our friend Ben
Stewart.
Ben Stewart
That's
up
right.
at West Bank.
I think these both go well with mussels, actually, the light red and the white.
They'll be terrific. Actually, the light Pinot would be lovely. Now, we did some filming up at Quails Gate during their circa 1873 harvest festival to celebrate the crush, the making of the wine, the new harvest. And you were responsible for you went up there with some of your chefs.
That's right,
put
and
together-
with people from the De Brule School, where we are right
Actually,
now.
yes, the people, some of the students from the where we shoot here, the studio, the De Brule Culinary School. And well, let's take a look at that day's filming, that celebration, and we'll be right back and put the soup together.
Nervous?
Sinclair, I know everyone's about to come up and help themselves, but just before they do, before we lose our sun, could you explain some of these extraordinary plates that we have here?
All right,
and
Gary,
starting
let's have a quick
over
look
here
before the sun goes down.
Right, starting over here.
This is Edward Toussaint's very beautiful goat's milk, chanterelle mushroom, and fall vegetable terrine. Those pretty purple elements inside that terrine are blue potatoes from the Sooke Harbour House
And it
gardens.
is extraordinary.
Isn't that beautiful?
It looks like marble candy or something.
Absolutely.
What's the pasta over here quickly?
The pasta is smoked salmon and delicata squash.
Okay.
And over here we have one of Pia Carroll's classics. This is a stuffed bread with wild mussels, pine mushrooms, and
man.
a variety of beautiful fall vegetables.
sounds fantastic,
This is
of
something
course.
that David Faess prepared today.
Pink
These
swimming
are
scallops.
Pink swimming scallops from just off the coast of British Columbia.
And very, very fresh,
Aren't
beautiful.
they beautiful?
Yeah.
And these are West Coast mussels, just
Our West
gently
Coast
steamed
BC
open.
mussels.
Yes.
From I guess, just close to Sooke, too.
Probably a little bit further south.
A little bit further south, okay.
And this is a gooey duck salad with pears and Quails Gate Riesling vinaigrette here.
Oh,
and it's
man.
a beautiful, beautiful dish. They were flown in yesterday. In fact, we have steelhead trout. It's 5:30. It still hasn't arrived. It's being flown in, but it will be here by 6:30.
Is that fresh? It was just caught moments ago.
Frederica
and
brought
being-
it up by plane this afternoon. It was in the waters of the Sooke
Frederica
River
being your
yesterday.
wife, of
yes,
course,
that's
yeah.
right. And this is a BC classic. This
Yes,
is
our
fresh
Dungeness crab.
And over here we have squid, little oligo
Squid,
squids from
some
up around
tomatoes,
Fort
some
Vancouver.
peppers,
Yes.
little squid salad.
Yes, some autumn vegetables.
And some gorgeous
And
bread.
some beautifully freshly made breads.
Fantastic. It's a virtual cornucopia of British Columbia
And
foods.
speaking of cornucopia, we will have corn on the cob tonight.
Corn and cornucopia foods. Okay. Now we're here with the pigs. Ben Stewart, it's great to be back
Gary,
for another year.
Welcome back to Quails Gate.
Another year of the 1873, circa 1873 event, and we're all dressed up in our garb. I didn't really dress up this time, but you look rather regal.
Thank you.
And we have the pigs, the pigs that have been roasted on spits since early this morning.
Yes, with the help of the Pierre de Breuil French Culinary School's team. We have Larry, who helped us last year, and some of the Sooke Harbour House staff, and pigs from your father.
Pigs from my father's farm, from the Faessler Ranch, and
Absolutely.
there's three pigs. They're close to 100 pounds, or
Yeah, approximately 100 pounds, and they're stuffed with pine mushrooms, honey mushrooms,
man.
local King Boletus mushrooms,
Fantastic.
and local fall vegetables. It's extremely beautiful.
So keeping, of course, as you always do, with seasonal,
Fresh
regional,
local produce.
fresh local.
And an important detail here is these are cooked over grapevine cuttings. The spit was over them all day from Quails Gate Vineyards, and that adds a really fabulous flavor to
Man, so that
spit roasted
infuses
foods.
into the meat.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is, and then what a great show of people.
Isn't it beautiful? And we're going to have another beautiful sunset.
Oh, fantastic
Just
sunset.
starting to happen again.
I know. We always do these interviews just when the light is perfect.
Gary, it's not fair. We haven't eaten yet, and these smells are getting to all of us.
No. Listen, so we're going to go right now, so we can attack this pig, and see you back in Vancouver. Guys. Okay, now the soup has been simmering a little bit.
Yes, it has.
Kind of melding, all those flavors been marrying.
Yep.
So now what do we do?
Now I'm gonna put some carrots in it. Carrots are gonna be the garnish and cook them. A little bit, I'll boost up the heat.
I see, okay.
I'm also gonna cook off some sea lettuce as a garnish.
Now, cook off some sea lettuce.
Yes. This I harvested right in front of the Sooke Harbour House.
No, I guess you have to just rinse it a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it gets
sand and gritty
sandy
and
because it washes with the tide.
yeah, probably a little those what are they called? Pea crab.
There might be various stuff. This is actually the only types of seaweed that you can eat raw.
Really?
And it's in the very high tidal area, so it's always easy to
I
pick.
put flavored honey on it because the saltiness with the honey together is a nice contrast.
Oh, I can
flavor.
smell the honey now as it's caramelizing. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Gary,
All
that's
these
one of
flavors.
the easiest to recognize of the seaweeds. It's the only one. There are two different types, and it's the only one of that color. So people can safely pick that and use it raw.
Really? So you can, walk down your beach and pick that?
Yeah, as long as the beach is clean.
Yeah, as long as the beach is clean. So
Got to make sure you clean it very well too, because the sand does get into the creases of
yeah,
the.
like spinach.
Easy
There
to
you go.
recognize, easy to pick, high tide.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to put the soup, actually, finish the soup off. I'm going to put
isn't
it
that lovely?
into this squash. This one's actually nicer than that one. And
But just very quickly, how did you? You mentioned before that there's a roasted squash in here. Just want to mention quickly how you prepared that roasted squash.
I started it on the burner with the squash, a little bit of vermouth.
Okay.
And again, I put some of my flavored honey on it.
So you just braised it
Yeah, braise it. I got it going on the top of the stove. Then I put it in the oven.
in the oven.
Yes.
Okay. To
Cooked it
finish
for
how long?
approximately 25 minutes until it's very soft.
Oh, okay.
Very
Good.
soft.
Good.
Okay.
So it's all ready.
Yep.
Let's just recap the what we have in this soup
Okay.
now.
In here, I started with shallots and garlic,
Right.
sautéed quickly.
And the
no
oil.
color, so I sweat them.
Right.
Then I put in. You put in some wine.
Yes.
Put in some mussel stock. Then I put in the garlic and the squash mashed up together.
Okay.
I put in the mussels, the smoked salmon, and the herbs.
Okay. Why don't you finish building this then?
Okay.
And there's
Chuck, you see that?
yeah, I
Another
think-
minute.
Another minute?
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
we better take it out now because we don't have a minute.
Okay. Hey, I'll take it out now.
Why don't you take it out now?
Okay.
You were mentioning before how healthy mussels are.
Gary, mussels will actually reduce your cholesterol because they're high in high-density lipoproteins. So it's a cholesterol reducer.
Which is
and
fantastic.
And for the same amount of protein, it has about 18 times less saturated fat than beef does.
Also high in vitamin C, you were saying?
Vitamin C, calcium, B1A.
Everything you want
It's an extremely
right here in
healthy
this soup.
thing to eat, and it's very heart healthy as well.
And to celebrate the mussel, down at the Captain Whidbey Inn, just as we mentioned before, just south of the border here in Washington.
That's right.
On Whidbey Island.
That's right.
John Colby Stone and the Whidbey Inn. They have a big mussel festival every year.
They do every year, and I try and be there every year because it's a lot of fun, but also you learn a lot about mussels.
You
And
guys-
you get to eat mussels.
You guys
too.
were there last year and you did
Yes.
some cooking demos
Yes.
and
You were
extensive
there.
ones. And I was there,
Yeah,
did
it's
a
great.
little
We had a
filming.
great time.
We'll be doing that again this year as well.
And there was this extraordinary part of the festival which runs several days. There was a munch-off, a mussel munch-off, and whoever eats the most mussels in a minute wins.
It's the World Championship.
It's the World Championship. We have that on film. Let's take a look at that. We'll be right back with the executive chef of the Captain Whidbey Inn to do a mussel dish. And let's take a look at that film now.
It feels wonderful. It feels completely different.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1993 World Champion Pen Cove Mussel Eating Contest that we have here at the Captain Whidbey. The rules are simple. One is have fun. This is a fun thing, not a serious thing. You have buckets in front of you. You have 1 minute to consume as many mussels as you can. Go through one bucket at a time. When a bucket is empty, we'll put another bucket in front of you so that you will always have a full bucket available. And as I said, there's 1 minute. In the event of a tie, we'll have a 30-second mussel munch-off. Okay. On your mark. Get set, munch. You have to swallow them, Smo. Careful, Smo, don't choke on them. Ian, chew them and swallow them. Chew, Ian, chew. You can't stop that anymore. Time. Okay. You did one and. Oh, excuse me. This is your second one.
I did my best.
Well, we have a new mussel champion. Okay, now since we had a definitive champion, we don't need to have a mussel munch-off. You may eat the rest of the mussels at your leisure. Now, we had one contestant that didn't want to be a contestant. Now, you may come up and eat as many mussels as you want. Good try, though, Steve. You put in a good... You were...
Kitchen facilities for chefs about town provided by the De Brule French Culinary School. To train for a career in the food industry is to invest in your future. The Adami cookware and Gold Hamster first-class knives used on the show are supplied by W.H. Puttyfoot Limited, Kerrisdale, and W.H. Puttyfoot Limited Restaurant and Hotel Division.
Okay, thanks, guys. As promised, there's Kevin Kennedy from the Captain Whidbey Inn, the new executive chef. Hey, welcome, man. It's so nice for you to be here.
Yeah.
And just before we get into the mussel dish that we're going to do with you, Peter, let's talk about the end result here of this soup. It's just gorgeous.
I just ladled the hot soup into a squash that I hollowed out and baked for a while. It also has the garnish of the sea lettuce with
that is so
flavored
nice.
honey that we baked in the oven and some carrots.
And so you just rip this off, take a bite of that, take some of the...
Yes, definitely.
And I guess you can even...
in a way it's like a crouton because it's crispy.
Oh,
You can hear
beautiful,
it.
beautiful. And you can scoop some of the flesh of the squash with the soup.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
lovely. We'll get into that later. Okay, what are we going to do?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a ginger mussel risotto with a warm tomato vinaigrette.
I love risotto.
So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and warm up the vinaigrette.
Okay.
Heat up my other pan here.
So this will be your first mussel festival, as it were.
Yeah, actually, I've been at the inn for about 3.5, 4 weeks.
We should mention when that is, too, because it's coming up real soon. It's going to be in March every year. I think it's March 2nd this year.
Boy, that smells good.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're going to be doing something together then.
Oh, that's great. But you're going to be there, too, doing some
We're going to do
cooking and
something
stuff?
together. Yep, cooking and talking about mussels and
That's
explaining
wonderful.
mussels.
Sooke Harbour House and Captain Whidbey Inn together.
Absolutely, we like working with them.
Yeah, they're good people. John's good.
Very good
Yeah.
people. They're good chef.
So what I'm doing is I'm just sautéing some shallots lightly. A little bit of ginger.
Okay, now what? And here again we have oil. Some.
What I have is extra virgin olive oil,
Right.
balsamic vinegar,
Right.
tomato, shallots, tarragon, a little bit of dill, and fresh cracked pepper.
Beautiful.
I made
Very
it
simple.
Real simple.
Very simple.
Smells
Okay.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to deglaze with a little bit of the mussel nectar. Poach the mussels ahead.
And they need so little poaching.
Right. Just real quick.
And the risotto is easy. You can look at any of your cookery books at home. So you cook up some risotto ahead of time?
I cook the risotto for about 15 minutes ahead of time.
Some nice rice.
Real quick. Just adding a touch of cream.
This is a great winter dish.
Yeah, it is. Reduce the cream. And the mussels are already poached, so they can go in right at the end. You got the nectar to flavor the risotto.
You're making this look so easy. And
It is easy.
It is easy. Yeah.
It is. It's very simple. As soon as it starts to self-thicken, in goes the mussels.
Little puppies. Now these are the Pencove.
Pencove mussels.
Beautiful
They're
mussels.
Absolutely. Very different colors, smaller, quite plump.
Sweet,
Very
delicate.
sweet, beautiful, delicate.
It's important not to overcook these
Very
mussels,
important.
right?
That's why they're going right
We
into the
stewed
end.
ours, so that's a very long cooking method.
But we
And
also
this is a
used-
very quick.
We also
cooking
used a
method.
very big, thick mussel too. We chopped up.
They wouldn't, if it was raft cultured, it wouldn't be big and thick, but we did
No.
use a big one.
Yeah.
So then I just finished with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Some fresh cracked pepper.
Oh, that smells great.
And it goes right into the
All right.
mold here.
Now, you can buy these molds in almost any
Sure.
cookery store.
You bet.
Anywhere. Can I turn the fire off?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
It's a bit warm.
Yeah, it is a bit warm. Getting a bit warm in the studio here.
That other one's still on there?
Is it? No, they're both off.
And you just pull your cutter,
Okay.
and drizzle your vinaigrette,
Oh, I love that vinaigrette.
Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful.
surround it.
And it's going to have that sharp bite of the balsamic vinegar and the tomatoes and the herbs, which is going to cut the richness of the cream
That's
in the risotto,
right,
right?
exactly.
That's your idea?
You
Yeah,
bet.
beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then just a very simple sprig, chives.
Very nice. Wow, two extraordinary dishes here.
There
Gorgeous,
it is.
man. Oh, that's
Well,
fantastic. Voila. Now we just leave that there. Let's just dress the plate. Now, okay, just very briefly, let's just talk about what, do you know what you guys are going to be doing down at the festival? Kind of putting you on the spot here, but
Well, we're not exactly sure. I think we'll go over some very basic mussel preparations, some
Right.
broth preparations, some stewed preparations. Might do this dish again.
might do this dish again and that dish again.
Quite
soup dish.
possibly.
Very quickly, you wanted to mention about cleaning mussels before we go.
Well, a couple of things. One, when you're cleaning mussels, don't remove the byssus or that little thread that sticks out, the
The
beard.
whiskers. The
But
beard,
much
yeah.
more importantly,
Whiskers.
don't put it in fresh water and don't put it in with cornmeal because that will
It'll
not
kill
clean
them.
the mussels. It will kill them. That will increase your likelihood of getting ptomaine poison.
Yes.
What you want to do is put them in a mesh bag in the refrigerator, possibly on top of ice, and make sure
Okay.
that that bag is good and tight.
What do you mean by mesh bag?
Well, something with a lot of air holes
Burlap?
in it.
So that kind of thing?
Burlap might be a little bit too dense.
Okay.
Probably just a nylon mesh bag,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
And they'll last in the refrigerator a long time. But keeping that pressure on them.
Well, that's
keep them
important
moisture.
because most people don't know how to keep mussels. That's it. That's the show. We got to wrap it up. My guest today. Oh, there's been so many. Kevin Kennedy, the new executive chef of the Captain Whidbey Inn, another very romantic inn and restaurant by the sea at Whidbey Island on the west coast.
Penn Cove.
Right on Penn Cove.
Thanks, man. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here. It's good to see you.
Pleasure being here.
Of course, one of my favorite people in the whole world, Sinclair Phillip from Sooke Harbour House, proprietor, and Peter Zambri, one of the chefs at the Sooke Harbour House.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for
hey,
having us.
It's good to have
Thanks,
you.
Gary. It's a
Great.
pleasure and has been for 6 years.
Yeah, it's been 6 years since we've been doing this show together, actually. Been on. My name is Gary Faessler for Chefs About Town. Until we see you next time, please enjoy yourselves, eat well, drink well, have some West Coast mussels. They really are superb. Why don't you guys swing us out and we'll tuck into this, have some wine.
Chefs About Town is brought to you in part by Loxton De-Alcoholized Wines, the elegant alternative wine for your non-drinking guests who enjoy the taste of wine. Remember Loxton. By Kelowna Vineyards, wines to share with friends. And by the Granville Island Brewing Company, Canada's first microbrewery. All proud to be sponsors of British Columbia's regional food and wine program, Chefs About Town.
Chefs About Town, British Columbia's first regional food and wine series, is now available on 5 VHS video cassettes. Each tape consists of 2 selected 30-minute programs and easy-to-follow recipe cards for only $16 plus tax. The Chefs About Town video library can be purchased at the following locations: